All right, adventurers. I want to kick off a new show I like to call Card Crafters. For those of you who don't know, I play a lot of Magic the Gathering in my spare time, and a lot of cards within the game of Magic have really rare and powerful cards like this one to my left. This card is called Death's Shadow. It has a very, very powerful effect. It only costs 1 mana, and when you put it into play, it is a 13/13 in the best case scenario. Worst case, Death's Shadow will be weaker. Its ability reads, Death's Shadow has -X/-X, where X is your life total. So you're not going to play this card on turn 1 because the thing will die, seeing as you always start with 20 life in a normal game of Magic or 40 in Commander. So bottom line, you're just not going to play this on your first turn. But what if there was another card in play that would make Death's Shadow a lot better to play? There's very few cards that change your life total, so I figured what I can do is I can come up with a few cards myself that'll allow you to put Death's Shadow into play and not lose it almost immediately. So let's see what we get to work. I'm gonna make these cards live. I haven't thought too much about what we can do. Obviously, we're gonna affect the life total. We're gonna affect your life total. That's the easiest way to make this happen. Question is, how do we go about making this? Let's see. So if Death's Shadow comes in with -X/-X, where X is your life total, we're going to change your life total a little bit. Obviously, this card is like Form of the Dragon, which basically turn you into a dragon, and you have 5 life. That's perfect for Death's Shadow. You don't have to worry about anything. But what if we don't do it so drastically? Because with 5 life, Death's Shadow is what, an 8/8? An 8/8, and you're on the brink of dying? That's not all that good. That's not that good. How about something like this at the beginning? And more or less, I'm going to try my best to have these formatted just like a real Magic card, not a custom Magic card. So that it's seeming like these cards can be real. That's my aim. I want to make some realistic cards. With that said, it's going to be hard for me to get costs down. I'm not too keen when it comes to costing cards. I might hit in the ballpark, but I won't get it perfect. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may draw a card and lose 2 life. That sound right? You may draw a card and lose 2 life. With a clause like that, with an ability like that, first off, this sounds like it's an enchantment. This is most likely going to be an enchantment. Actually, no. This isn't an enchantment. Let's go ahead and make this a creature. This is a creature. I want this to be a creature. This sounds like this is going to be a creature in the vein of... Damn, what's the card? Shadowborn Apostle, I want to say. It's a card that summons another card. It's very clearly meant to summon another card. I think Shadowborn Apostle is one of them. There was a card in, I believe it was Gatecrash for Return of Ravnica that did the same thing. I'll have that card shown on the screen. I want this to be in that vein. I want this card to set up Death's Shadow. So we can go ahead and call this Death's Caller, I suppose. I already took a look. Yes, there's a card called Death, which means I can't use the title Death. And it's an instant. It's one of the split cards. It's half. Half of his life and the other half is death. I was so upset when I saw that. Go ahead and make it a human. Would it be human shaman? Human wizard? I want to go wizard simply because, if this is calling death, it's going to be a black card. It's going to be a black card. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may draw a card and lose 2 life. What I was saying is I want this card to set up Death's Shadow coming out, as well as put you in a good spot when you do feel comfortable for Death's Shadow to come out. That would mean that you need to have cards in your hand on top of your life being so low to protect yourself. So we have, at the beginning of your upkeep, you may draw a card and lose 2 life. That means we're going to have to cost this card aggressively, because abilities like that do not come so simply. How about when Death's Caller, when Death's Caller, how about when Death's Caller or another creature you control dies? Can't type today. You may draw a card and lose 2 life. We'll mirror it. We'll mirror it the same upkeep ability. Again, you're gonna be you with an ability like this. You're gonna be speeding through cards in your deck in your life. Again, I'm not gonna make it cost just one B. I just had to change the color so I can see it. I can see this card. I guess we should figure out the power and toughness. Each creature has power and toughness. How much damage they deal is power, and how much damage it takes to kill them is toughness. So we have Death Caller, our human wizard. If he's a human, I believe it should probably be... Don't cards like this normally have power and toughness 2-1? I believe they have 2-1. An ability like that. What do we say to 2B? It costs 2 and 1 black. It's a 2-1 for 3. It's a 2-1 for 3. Let me go ahead and compare. I'm going to compare this card to some other cards real quick. We have Bloodscriven, which is a card from Dragon's Maze. It is a 2-1 that costs 2 mana, 1 to black. And its ability says if you would draw a card while you have no cards in hand, instead draw 2 cards and lose 1 life. That's pretty similar. It has them losing 1 life instead of losing 2. There's Bloodgift Demon, which is a demon, so you know the power and toughness isn't going to be there. It has flying, and at the beginning of the upkeep, you have target player draw a card and lose a life. So it looks like the game is valuing drawing a card at the loss of 1 life. So we'll probably change that. Okay, so we're already going to change Death Caller. That's fine. There's no problem. I don't expect every card I do to be near other cards formats at all. I'm going to try my best to make them. Okay, so Death Caller now says at the beginning of your upkeep, you may draw a card and lose 1 life. So basically that means each turn, with Death Caller out, you are drawing 2 cards and you're losing a life instead of just drawing 1 card. And also says when Death Caller or another creature you control dies, you may draw a card and lose 1 life. Okay, so I have that may clause in there because eventually, if you have Death Caller out, your plan is to, at your whim, draw cards. You don't want the may clause to not be there because then eventually the opponent's going to realize, hey, if I just blow up all the things on his side, he's going to draw cards and lose life. I think I want Death Caller like that. We'll take a look at all the cards. I don't plan on making just 1 card each episode. I want to make a bunch of cards that would go with our featured card. So at the end of the episode, we'll take a look at all the cards that we have together. I'll find some card art to throw in there as well. So that's Death Caller. Human Wizard? Do I want to go with Human Wizard? I guess we go with Human Wizard. Bloodscrivener was a zombie wizard. That sounds about right. Okay, cool. So that's 1 card. Okay, so let's make another card. Again, we're pairing cards up for Death's Shadow. Death's Shadow is a 13/13 that costs 1 black mana, and it has the ability Death's Shadow gets -X, where X is your life total. Okay, so we've already made a card where we're kind of manipulating our life total. We're very quickly speeding all the way down to... I guess we want to get at least to 12/12, right? The only way Death's Shadow on its own can stay on the battlefield is if we at most have 12 life. Okay, how about this one? We theme this one after a red card. Oops, shouldn't hit 5. Okay, let's make this a red card. If it's a red card that's gonna help us get down in life, there's a very good chance it will be an instant or a sorcery. So let's aim for that, instant or sorcery. So with this card, how about we reveal the top card of your library? No. Red. Is this outside of red's part of the color pie? Reveal the top card of each player's library. And then the red player, the person who casts this spell, gets to cast one of those spells. Is that outside of red? I feel like that might be blue or even black. So let's just stick with red. That player may cast... Each player... how would I word this? Each player may cast the revealed... may cast... Okay, here we go. I wanted each one to cast individually their own card. For example, if I'm playing a green deck, mono green, and you're playing let's go white. If you're playing a white deck, and someone drops this, one of us drops this, I could cast my card. I would be able to cast my green card, and you would be able to cast your white card. But how about if anybody can cast any one of the cards revealed this way? Each player may cast a card revealed this way. Each player may cast a card revealed this way without paying its mana cost. Alright? If a player does, that player loses life equal to the converted mana cost of the cast spell. Does that work? The cast spell? So again, if I'm playing mono green, you're playing mono white, I can cast your mono white spell, but I could cast it for free, but I will lose life equal to the mana cost of your spell. So it's good and bad. Again, this will help our boy Dust Shadow get out with as much health as possible. Or, I'm sorry, as much power and toughness as possible. And we get to cast a spell. Actually, I think this would turn out nice. This has to be a sorcery, I believe. This can't be an instant. This at instant speed, this would kind of break the game. What do we call this though? I don't know what to call this one. Okay. Reckless abandon? Would this be a reckless abandon? That's a card that exists. Watch, I would be upset. Yep, that's a card that exists. What that does is it has you sacrifice a creature as well as paying 1 red mana. And Reckless Abandon deals 4 damage to target creature player. Okay, we can't use Reckless Abandon. How about, let's see, I want Reckless in there because that's very reckless of you. Okay, never mind. Okay, I see how we have to fix this now. Reveal the top card of each player's library. Each player may cast the card revealed this way without paying. Okay, may cast a copy of a card. What I was originally going to say was if a creature's revealed, what happens? If let's say Sarah Angel, your white deck reveals Sarah Angel, and we both decide we want a Sarah Angel. Whatever I played, whatever I revealed wasn't good enough. We both want a Sarah Angel. What happens? Who gets Sarah Angel? We should create copies. Of the card. Each player may cast a copy of a card revealed this way. Originally, like in my first thought, I was going to say, let's make it so you can only do instants and sorceries. But that's not fun. That means this card sees a very small area. Okay. I think we also need to change this so that we can exile the top card of each player's library. Because if you reveal the top card, whether or not you cast it once it's revealed, you're going to get what your next card is. And you're kind of setting yourself up for the okie doke. So instead, you exile the top card. That card is gone. Let's see. Cards called Reckless. Let's see. There's Reckless Abandon, Reckless Assault, Reckless Brute, Reckless Bushwhacker, Reckless Charge. How about we go Reckless Advance? All right, Reckless Advance. That sounds like a card. Honestly, that sounds like a card that has a cycle. So the rest of either the Reckless cycle or the Advanced cycle should be pretty interesting to see. What would we call this? You're getting a card for free. We should cost this. Let's see, you're getting a card for free? A card of your choice for free? Is that right? Is that right for Reckless Advance? Reckless Advance is a sorcery that costs 4 and 1 red mana. And it says exile the top card of each player's library. Each player may cast a copy of a card revealed this way without paying its mana cost. If a player does, that player loses life equal to the converted mana cost of the cast spell. That sound right? That sound good to you guys? I mean, what you think about Reckless Advance? I think I did good with that one. I think it's templated okay. Could be a little bit better at the end. But I think the cost is where it should be. Should be there, maybe? Alright, we'll do one more card for Death Shadow. Once again, Death Shadow is a 13/13 that costs 1 black mana. And its ability reads, Death Shadow gets -X, where X is your life total. Okay, so we've got... What do we have so far? We have a creature that's very clearly meant to fuel Death's Caller coming out. Set up the game for when Death Caller comes out. We have a sorcery that's very clearly meant to rush your life down so that Death Caller can come out as big as possible. What don't we have yet that could help Death Caller? We don't have anything that can boost its power and toughness as like a global. Okay, so let's see. Let's go ahead and make one of those. Let's make one of those. What I just said will make a little bit more sense as I make the card. Alright, so if we want a global boost, this isn't just going to raise Death Caller's power and toughness, but it's going to raise everybody on your side. Very likely this will be a white card. Very likely it'll be a white. Okay. If it's a global boost, it sounds like an enchantment. It could be a creature. We'll see when we get there. If this is raising power and toughness, obviously it's going to be something is getting what, +1/+1 for every something. Oh, for every something on this card, maybe? Yeah, on this card. Okay. So we're already looking at counters. It seems. Okay, this is Death's Caller, Death Shadow, Reckless Advance. Let's go on this whole idea of throwing stuff away, using resources for other resources. Let's make this a multicolored card. Let's go ahead and make it white-black. It's an enchantment. That opens up the field for us to give this a sacrifice effect. Sacrifice a creature. Put a something counter on this card. I kind of want this one to here balance out Death Shadow. Death Shadow wants your life to be low. If this is giving power and toughness boost, then our life doesn't need to be so low. So how about we put a one type of counter on this card, you gain 1 life. But play Death Shadow. For example, let's say we play Death Shadow while we have 12 life. Death Shadow was a 1/1 at that point. Okay. We sacrifice a creature. We put a counter on this card and we gain 1 life. Death Shadow will still be a 12/12, but our life will be 1 life higher. It will be 1 higher than what it was before we sacrificed the creature. That way we can fix up our life and still have Death Shadow out. That sounds about right to me. We have to have. There's no enchantment like this yet. There has to be. It could have been this easy. So no, we don't have any enchantments that you put counters on. I'm sorry, that you sacrifice creatures to increase power and toughness and gain a life. That's perfect. So we can do whatever we want, right? Let's see. I'm probably gonna make that. Let's look at this. Shadow healing. We'll just play testing. Call this shadow healing, because what we're doing right now is we're healing our shadow. Basically, we've rushed all the way down to 12 life. Now we got to get back up. So this would be card name gets. Now I need to change this one to be it. For every what counter on it? Well, I guess we could call this. I guess we call it shadow counter. Every shadow counter. Oh no! I'm sorry. This should have been. I did this wrong. Okay, this should have been creatures you control. Creatures you control get +1/+1 for every shadow counter on Shadow Healing. So then, if it's that broad that all of our creatures are getting it, as well as Death Shadow, we can't just make it sacrifice a creature. That's way too easy. It's way too easy. So what we can do is we can say, what do we pay? We pay a white and a black, as well as sacrificing a creature to put a shadow counter on Shadow Healing. You gain 1 life. Now, I just realized Shadow Healing also works well with Death's Caller. Remember, Death's Caller wants either itself or another creature we control to die. Ooh, actually it kind of doesn't. It kind of doesn't. Wait, I'm sorry. Yes, it does. Death's Caller says we lose a life. Shadow Healing says we gain a life. So we're not... Oh. Yes, that's perfect. That's perfect. Because now Death's Caller, because we're not gaining or losing anything, Death's Caller, Death's Shadow, power and toughness goes up thanks to Shadow Healing's first ability right here. That's perfect. That's really good. That wasn't planned at all. That wasn't planned at all. Okay. Let's look at this. Shadow Healing is an enchantment that says creatures you control get +1/+1 for every shadow counter on Shadow Healing, as well as sacrificing the creature and paying 1 white and 1 black to put a shadow counter on Shadow Healing. You gain 1 life. This is not going to be this cheap a cost, to be very obvious. Is this where it should be? 4 mana, 2 a white and a black. It comes in doing nothing. So maybe this is where it goes. Maybe that's where it goes. Should I make it enter the battlefield? How about, yeah, for 4 mana, when it comes in, it has to do something. How about that? I might be breaking. Let's make 2 different versions. How about that? We can make 2 different versions of this. And you guys can tell me which one you think is the better version. So we have Shadow Healing A and Shadow Healing B. So the standard one, the one that costs 3 mana, 1 a white and a black, doesn't give you any counters when it comes down. But for 2 a white and a black, Shadow Healing enters the battlefield with a shadow counter on it. Okay, so you're guaranteed, for 2 a white and a black, you're guaranteed at least a power toughness boost of +1/+1. Which one of these is the more powerful but still balanced one? Shadow Healing for 1 a white and a black, or Shadow Healing for 2 a white and a black. I think that's what I'm gonna do. I think I'll make 3 cards for every episode here on Card Crafters. This was fun. I enjoy making custom cards like this. I like looking at cards and figuring out how I can make them better, how I can fix them, or how I can break them. So that's what we're gonna do. I'll catch you guys later with more here on Card Crafters on Altplay. If you enjoyed this episode, hit that red button below this video, and you'll see more episodes of Card Crafters, as well as everything else that Altplay has to offer. This is fun. This is fun. I'm gonna do the next one. I'm ready to do the next one already. Let's go for it. I'm not even gonna not even gonna pretend. Let's do it.